You are looking live on Capitol Hill, where U.S. Supreme Court justices are set to make a ruling on a lawsuit involving a Facebook data breach. A group of shareholders filed a lawsuit against the social media giant, accusing it of misleading them about the misuse of user data. Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose joins me now. And Khalif, what are they claiming here that happened?
They're claiming that they failed to disclose this risk. I mean, and this is a very, very complicated case, but I'll attempt to break it down as easy as I can so folks can digest it. I mean, you had this situation that was happening in 2015 with the misinformation, disinformation during the election process, but folks really didn't find out about it until 2018. Then what you have happen is Facebook makes a risk disclosure. Because they're a publicly traded company, they have a responsibility to their shareholders to let them know the risk that they're about to walk into if you are actually going to invest in this company. Each shareholder is an investor. And so if I'm going to invest in this company, you got to let me know what I'm walking into. And so they made a blanket risk advisement that, look, this is the potential risk that you could be walking into. But in that risk disclosure, they never mentioned that, hey, what we're actually telling you that could happen already happened in the past. And you would think that there would be something on the books that would require companies to tell you what happened in the past is actually not some hypothetical, but it happened. And so this is where we are now, which technically, did they follow exactly what they were supposed to in giving the company?
They did the bare minimum.
They did the bare minimum, and they gave them the risk disclosure. And it's kind of like Justice Kavanaugh talked about this, like, a lot of the justices were extremely skeptical of you tell folks that, hey, you could potentially fall down these steps that are in the front of your house, while failing to say that, hey, just last week, 20 people fell down those same steps. Well, in real life, you would say that. But in this situation, they're not required to. And so they're just letting you know that, hey, there is a risk that you could potentially fall down the steps. So put it in dollar terms. There's a potential that our underlying asset could potentially lose some money. And because it could lose some money, you should be on notice that you could lose money and that you could be exposed to these things, without saying that we've already been exposed.
Well, how is the court viewing this case? And also, isn't there some broader security issues that are going on here with Facebook?
The court is viewing this very, very skeptical. I mean, I listened to oral arguments. I mean, this is another example of wishing that there were cameras in the courtroom, specifically in federal court, so you can see the facial expressions. But you can hear the skepticism from the justices that they're not buying the argument. But I do understand and appreciate the argument that was made by their counsel that, listen, we did what was required by the SEC and FTC at the time, that these organizations and these regulatory agencies have a process in place. And we followed that process. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. And he said we can't take into account, he gave a road analogy. Counsel said that if you see a sign that says roads can potentially flood, that's enough of a warning for you to know that this road can flood. There's no need for you to put on that street sign also the list of times that the roads have flooded. I think that was a novel argument. However, I don't think the court was buying that. In terms of the broader applications, all of these social media companies have been attacked by the FTC and the SEC for a number of times, but specifically the FTC with attempting to try to wind down and wean down their process. This is no different. They were just hit with a $5 billion fine from the FTC. However, if you look at it, that's only 9% of their revenue from 2018. So even though $5 billion sounds like a lot, that's not a lot to a company that's bringing in those numbers times 100 every year.
So the court's got a little bit of a win in Facebook because they got them to respond. Consumers can never get a response out of Facebook when you talk
well, listen,
about
if you're the Supreme Court, I think everyone is responding. If you're everyday Joe American, it is a little bit harder to
Customer
get folks
service
to
is obsolete there. All right. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rose, thanks.